rotate perfectly with the Clockwork and the Jakiro, because, you know, Dream Coil or Cogs plus Macropie, it's still a crazy amount of damage, right? So for them, I'd say the first 15 or so minutes on the game is a lot on Celery's position on Gaming Gladiators, just to make sure he's in place to be able to counter a lot of that aggression, right? Is he going to be able to use the Shallow Grave to prevent these kills from getting off and slowing down those BKB timings? So we'll see how well CYBERCATS are able to move around. I still have to say again, the new logo, not as big of a fan. The old one was so cute, man. It was a little cat holding a controller. Oh, if you don't believe me, go look on Liquipedia.
I have a folder of all the team's logos, like through different regions, and the CYBERCATS old logo was still in there, and I had to get rid of it for the new one. So, rest in peace, the old kitty. It's the same with Southeast Asia. You know, we had Lil Gun. They had the cute logo. Then they had to go. What do you say? They had to go corporate with their logo. They don't have the.
It's a little too edgy, you know? It's not like the clip art that they... So they had clip art with the first one, which was, like, horrible, but, like, charming horrible. Then the second one that they had was like, okay, this is kind of cool, you know? It's
the second one was
like,
dope. I'm pretty sure the second one is the one I'm thinking of.
I like the second one the best. And then the third one's just, like, some standard gamer-style one that's like, oh, you can see the L's and all the... You know, I don't know. Not as big of a fan. But let's see if the logo is enough to bring them across the line against Gaming Gladiators.
Well, 4-on-2 is going to make them turn instantly the opposite direction, but will be a 2-for-2 in regards to the bounties. Nothing too crazy. Got to put a lot of emphasis, like you're mentioning, onto Eagle, and I think in particular we're going to be looking at the power runes. You have the... It's going to be difficult, though, I think, for him to make rotations, because if you do leave this lane and boom with Exo, that is always the big issue. It's very similar to the Dragonite matchup as well, is that Puck wants to be rotating to side lanes, but DK and Death Prophet, they want to stay in their lane and put a lot of pressure onto the tower. So that could make it a little bit more difficult for Puck. It's going to come down to maybe if he can get like a Lucky Haste rune to quickly, you know, join a side lane, then TP back. But I think also for Gladiators, they really have some good supports to be able to collapse on mid at an early stage. I'm looking at like 5.5 minutes. They can rotate with the catapult. They can then look to connect as well to try and take away that first power rune, because you've got the threat of like a 1-stun on the Tiny into the heals from Celery to enable the dive. And that is really the big thing I'm concerned about. But I guess for CYBERCATS, like, they do have supports that are also have that capability to rotate early to protect the tower.
Yeah, I wonder how exactly they're going to do it. Like, is this going to be Gaming Gladiators just saying, look, we're in the position to be able to take towers sooner just because we've got Death Prophet, we've got the Exorcism, we're playing on Dire, so if they wanted to be in the mid lane, then they can just camp to the right of the Radiant Tier 1 towers to have that little assistance underneath the area that can be warded? And then if that's the case, how is CYBERCATS going to be able to respond to this? Because I feel like a way... Did he just take his tree in the mid lane? I feel like in mid lane, someone planted an ironwood tree, iron branch, and I'm not sure if it was the Puck or the DP, but basically Boom just went up and ate it. And it was a little bit too close to the Puck for my liking.
You stopped for a second. I looked at Discord. I'm like, hey, and what happened? Did we lose Dental? Because I was looking at top. Celery almost went down. You're on a roll there, mentioning something all of a sudden. It's just what's going on.
Essentially, what I want to see is CYBERCATS making plays to take towers. I mean, the only time they can do it is when the Visage hits 6, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to see if they're able to maybe do that, not necessarily around a siege creep for the mid lane, but maybe have DK Focus make that rotation through to mid, maybe even once he's level 7, just so that you can take that, and if you time it well enough, then you can look to connect together with the creep wave for top as well, so you maybe get 2 towers for 1. We are looking to get aggressive up top here, though.
DK Focus. Some trouble. The Poison Touch going to continue to stack up here once Durachio is able to find the right clicks. Basil also taking a bit of damage as well. Looks like they're going to be chilling. Are they going to go for this? Durachio, look at the bodying going on at the moment. Putting a lot of pressure onto the Visage. Of course, this is a hero that is incredibly strong level 1, but the rest of the levels in the lane is not the greatest for the Visage.
No, for sure. And like I was saying before, they don't have TPs, sorry, they don't have stuns on this Gaming Gladiators duo up top, but they've got everything else. They've got slows, they've got very quick damage looking to come through. So something they need to be a little bit cautious about for sure. This is the thing that Bloodseeker does, just constantly shove in the lanes, and there's really nothing you could do about it. He's always going to be able to manipulate the lanes just so that he's got it pulled back closer towards his tower and making you have a much vulnerable spot. But just have a look at DK Focus. He's making sure to try and get as much of this solo experience away from the clockwork so he hits up onto that level 3, and you've got that turnaround potential for the damage.
Meanwhile, in our other side lane, looking like it's a pretty good time for Ace at the moment. Top of the last sits. Shigetsu does pick up his Ring of Health, though. Are they going to actually chase him down? Tofu doesn't have a point in the toss. We'll have enough mana shortly for the Plasma Field as well. H2 is going to hold back Ace with a dual breath, but the movement speed slow might not be enough as Gaming Gladiators continuing to charge on 4, but they do have to respect the stacking quills.
How some of these other lanes going. Seems pretty even across the board. Ace just down here is always wanting to put a little bit more harassment through. Of course, they've both gone into the magic stick, or the magic wand actually for Ace as well, going up against this Bristleback. Same sort of thing with the Jakiro, right? You need to be casting spells to have any kind of strong effectiveness in this lane.
They might be able to get... Oh, Ace actually going to be cautious here. Plenty of mana to be able to work with on the Bristleback. They need one more right click. They won't find it though. Ace able to get out of harm's way. Doesn't have any regen though. Was thinking there might be a Self coming out on the courier.
Even just only Tango's coming out now for Tiny, so not the easiest for him to be able to go back into this lane. And this might be another one of these instances. I feel like Shigetsu probably would have been able to go forward, considering he just hit up onto level 3. He had a few magic stick charges, and there were, I believe, at least 4 Quill Spray stacks up onto Ace. But it's
no bottom lane. They might be able to get him. H2O, look at the combination. Will be enough. Ace finds the kill. It'll come at a cost. Tofu will sacrifice his life, but you're happy with that. Now you get all the gold given over to Ace. The Tiny's going to be able to TP back with the items completed as well, so should be able to bring some regen back for Razor.
Yeah, what I was going to say is oftentimes it's nice to just leave someone with 0 regen on basically no HP in the lane because they feel so anxious about wanting to go forward and last hit. But I feel like the one situation where you're fine to do that is for First Blood. Like, you want to make sure that you actually secure the kill, and because they didn't, it just gets turned around. Ace gets the First Blood instead, and what was a really good lane so far has suddenly turned the other way.
Yeah, getting close to... Well, the first catapult timing has occurred, coming out now, and Boom's got that level 6 as well. So all eyes on how the rotations are going to occur. Looks like top lane, they're pretty busy at the moment. Celery, Jesus. That second point in the Soul Assumption doing massive amounts of damage to the Dazzle, but we'll be able to sell back up.
Igor's doing exactly what we needed him to, though, right? He's come out on top in terms of the last hits, in terms of the net worth, even just taking some of these small camps as well, realizing that he doesn't want to leave this lane. He doesn't want to shove it out so that it bounces back and gives Boom the opportunity to transition.
Shigetsu, he might end up going down here. Ace is still 72 damage, but it has to be cautious. But the Dual Breath reapplied. Ace, they should be able to secure the kill. Second level in the queue for H2O. And Tofu, he doesn't really have the mana to be able to combat this. Has 15 one charges actually to play with. But with the Avalanche still being on cooldown, he won't be able to get a return kill. They're going to continue to chase him through the tree line. Tofu actually stepping back towards the Jakiro. The damage, it's enough. Thanks to the one charges, has the mana to play with. Razor's about to respawn as well. Shigetsu's going to be pretty quick to get the kill, and he won't find it. Now with Ace on the respawn, he's going to hunt down the Bristleback. Plenty of damage to work with, and the Plasma Field as well for good measure. And what do you know? Tofu says thank you very much. He yoinks that with the tree throw.
Oh, Tofu playing this really well, realizing he wouldn't have made that play if he saw the Bristleback have more mana than he did, but basically making sure not to just toss out his spells just for a little bit of that extra damage, waiting until he could secure the kill for himself and then being able to get away from it. Obviously, Bristle wants to go for those dives, right? Tiny, 0 armor to be able to start out with Quill Spray, physical damage, so he felt really confident in being able to secure that kill on Shigetsu, but yeah, just great footsies, we like to call them in the fighting game community, to be able to kill the Tiny.
Up lane, Duraccio is going to be in a bit of trouble. H2O moving away from bottom, Celery TPing in, but he doesn't have a level in the grave. Nice rotation, H2O getting out at bottom to provide some assistance. happens. And like you mentioned, Jakira and the Clockwork is a pretty potent support duo. And they might look for Celery as well. He steps a bit too far in the lane. He TP'd up here, so there's a pretty big kill to find. Dazzle is not going to be able to get back onto the map for quite some time.
You can't be feeding those sorts of kills to a Visage. You know, this is meant to be the hardest part of his game, and you've almost given him level 6, 8 minutes in. Just completely able to soak up that solo experience as the roaming duo of H-Duo and Phasor look to try and get some more kills on the board. Not sure if Boom's the easiest target, though.
Treads got the one and the raindrops as well. They're going to try and secure the regen. Eagle's able to snag that one up, but look at Boom on the prowl. Pushing on 4, the Cogs in a perfect position from Phasor. And we do have to mention, though, before Boom, he did use that first exo of the game. It was with an Arcane Rune. It was when the action was going on down bottom, and they did a lot of damage to the tower. Only standing with 117 health left, so Boom should easily be able to find this.
They should, but in the same time, DK Focus is doing a good job pushing top with that level 6. I mean, how often do you see a Bloodseeker pushed out of a Visage lane? It's pretty damn rare. So it just goes to show how well the supports in particular have played around that top side of the map.
Do you like this from Boom? He popped the Exo for that tower, and I thought he was maybe going to consider TPing bottom to try and get a little bit more value out of it, but he feels like he can use this to get some farm instead.
I was about to say, he's just really looking to focus on those BKB timings, but for him, he's going the Kyron Sarge instead, just wanting to bulk himself up a little bit more, maybe just that extra status resist because he doesn't want to be a slave to the Dream Coil. He wants to just be able to run out of it, not have quite as long of that stun duration.
Gaming Gladiators, is this a fight you want to take? CYBERCATS, they are set up with the numbers top lane. Eagle's going to be able to land the coil, holding Boom inside, but the Spirit Siphon's enough to keep Boom alive for the moment. He's going to be able to step out of harm's way. The Grave to ensure his life. And Gladiators, they lose no one. They might be able to catch out Igor as well. The stuns are on cooldown for Tofu, so they won't have a way to cancel the TP. But regardless, a really nice play from them. They keep Ace down bottom, so the Rays are continuing to free farm. They do not keep their tier 1 tower alive, but they do get 2 kills in the end.
Yeah, I almost thought that was a little bit crazy there by Boom. He went right into the middle of that team fight with Exorcism having just worn off, so wasn't doing a lot of the damage. It felt like CYBERCATS, they were a little bit disconnected with who exactly they were looking to focus onto.
This is scary, though, with how much farm Ace has been able to get. 30 net worth, a little bit more gold compared to the Bristleback. He's already going to have enough gold for one component of the BKB if required, and do we want to see Gladiators with this next EXO in 40 seconds come and play down bottom? Or do you feel like they're not really under too much pressure to make plays until they get that BKB?
I actually do really want to see them get this bot tower, right? Because they've got the tools to be able to do it. They've got the net worth advantage. And who on CYBERCATS really wants to be playing around that bot lane once that tower's gone? It's basically only Puck, right? Like, Clockwork can't do it. Visage is just going to be completely dead weight if he's down there. Jakiro, again, very, very vulnerable. So it's going to be a case of, like, you're either getting free kills on the bottom side, or you're preventing the Puck from making plays, or you're able to free farm down this bottom side.
Look at this. Tofu and Boom all the way around. They go to try and catch out Shigetsu. The hookshot doing the best to be able to disrupt the combo, but it will not matter. Bristleback still ends up going down. They will not be able to catch up to H-Duo. But a big kill onto the position 1, and they know Phazor's stuck down here. Gonna try and cut his way through the trees. Let's see if Boom's gonna be able to catch him out. Oh, they got the plasma field. Ace spies him in the tree line. An easy kill for them to find, and they should be able to find the tier 1 tower as well.
And that's with the tower up as well, right? This is what I'm saying. If this tower's gone, how can anyone feel safe to come down here?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They're almost able to get a turnaround kill onto Durachu in that mid lane, with Puck dropping the Dream Coil. Shakira as well. H2O didn't have the mana to be able to use that macro power at the time.
Don't you love this? Bristleback, the boys will make sure they've covered his early game. As soon as you leave the lane, don't worry, brother. We got some stacks for you.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That Vanguard's going to be really useful against both the Razor and the Bloodseeker in particular. Just very fast right clicks coming through, so he's going to be able to stand his ground. Again, not too much right click damage because, of course, you've got the Razor and the Bloodseeker that are going to dissuade you from doing that. But certainly the Quill Sprays still can start to rack up.
A prize. Silence.
For Radiant, though, it's really been Gaming Gladiators that have been the proactive team, you know, kind of first to make the move. But for CYBERCATS, what do we feel like we're looking for them to maybe start to get a little bit more active here in this game one?
Well, I mean, oh no. Up on top side, they were trying to get the hook shot onto Tofu, but ends up being able to dodge it out, just constantly dancing back and forth. Honestly, even top tower doesn't feel like the easiest, right? Like, what's going to happen? You're going to be able to make the kill happen, get a little bit of right click into the tower, they use Glyph, and you have to back off. I really feel like they need to pick off the Death Prophet and try and chain stun her, silence her before she's able to get off that Exorcism and Spirit Siphons.
You mentioned earlier it's really going to come down to Celery's positioning. It could be even easier working on the Force Staff next item to kind of help get away from the clockwork. I think Force anyway this game is going to be really important because Radiant, they are relying on that first stun into the chain control of the Jakiro. It's a hero that likes someone to be able to set up for that Ice Path, of course, with the cast point. So I wonder, I have to imagine Tofu also is going to go for stuff after this Blink Dagger, who is, you know, I like that they're just, you know, parking Tiny up top, being able to find a lot of his farm. You take a look at Radiant supports at the moment. They are really struggling to get anything. Like Phasor continuing to play in the jungle, trying to set up for the pickoffs, and Jakiro, I think now they're putting H2O mid because they just would really want a support to be able to soak up some experience. And this is also the deadly part. This mid lane, now that you don't have a tier 1 tower, it's a bit more difficult to put a core here.
To be fair, Duracho isn't having the easiest time as well, right? He's still sitting last on all of the cores. And this is the timing, right? Igor hasn't died a single time, but he hasn't been involved in a single kill. And I feel like if you're waiting any longer, Tofu's just sitting up here leeching experience. He's gonna get his Blink Dagger eventually. Death Prophet only just put a single point into the silence now, so there was this huge window where you just couldn't die, and it feels to me like he hasn't been able to take too much advantage of that.
Bottom lane, they make an attempt onto Ace. Macropire is going to be laid down as well. Igor can be playing with the ultimate, but Celery too late to protect him. The Grave not coming out, so a big kill for CYBERCATS to find. Not a heavy commitment. With the coil and the hook shot. Actually, they didn't even use the coil. So yeah, really the hook shot and the Macropire, but they don't have the greatest cooldowns.
I mean, to me, it feels like you've just got a big opportunity to go next time that Macropire's up again, right? Another 50 seconds, going to sync up with the hook shot. I feel like hook shot on its own isn't going to be able to secure anything, maybe together with the Visage, but yeah, just got to constantly play around. You can't be waiting for this Blink Dagger on the Tiny, because if that's the case, you get chain lockdown. There's enough damage coming through on Gaming Gladiator's side to kill the puck.
They're about to have the Scepter as well from Shigetsu, so it's definitely go time here for the lads on CYBERCATS. It's just a question of how they can set themselves up. You'd really like to take the tier 1 tower mid, but you don't really have any wards to play with around that area. They're relatively well set up as well with a freshly placed ward on the cliff. Bottom lane, Igor, make a Duracho work for this escape. But Coil's not going to get laid down, just maybe trying to force some reactions. Top lane though, Phasor thinking about it. Tofu still without the blink, looking to play with Ace just to protect him to try and get that farm.
Feels like a little bit of an odd choice, to be honest, right? It's nighttime, they don't have any wards up, they're playing into the unknown, where the one known that they had was that this mid tower is still up on the Dire side. They had a siege creep with them, they had Aghanim Scepter on the Bristleback, they had Dreamcall, they had Macropire, they had a Visage with Wraith Pact. To me, it's a big mistake that they didn't just try and converge there.
It's not going to work. CYBERCATS, his play's not going to work. Ace, he just completed a BKB. Boom's got the Sunjin Kaya as well. You are not going to be killing any of the cores. Jakiro's going to make it out. DK Frogus looks like he'll make it out as well. All right. BKB expended just for a clockwork kill. Meanwhile, you've got Shigetsu that's still finding farm. So, I suppose not the worst.
It's not the worst, but I just feel like so much more could have happened, you know, at that time period.
As you are giving the time, aren't you, for especially Duracho to keep up in farm, because you were mentioning his lowest net worth out of the cores. Well, now it's going to be the Visage.
Yep. The other thing as well is I've also been talking about these blink daggers, right? Tofu is basically going to get his at the same time as the puck, which is not what you want. You know, this is a support Tiny that's going to be able to be as mobile, as effective in these team fights as a mid puck. And again, the longer you wait, the closer Gaming Gladiators get to these BKBs, the less concerned they are about everything that you're throwing their way, because they're just going to be able to turn around on you.
Gaming Gladiators definitely have that potential to be able to chain control the puck if he does jump in. You got this blink on Tofu, like you mentioned. Boom's got 2 points in the silence. That should be enough for the Blood Ride as well to come out. We're soon to have a big battle, though. Looks like either side's picking up their timings. Probably going to occur around mid, though. Again, Radiant really want Roche. Imagine Dire going to be thinking... So Radiant really want the T1 tower, and it's going to be Dire that are thinking about the pit. Boom. Let's see. Tofu's instantly in with the counter initiation. They need to try and silence Celery. They've done a really good job to hold the Dazzle back at the moment, but Boom is so tanky. This Death Prophet unable to get the kill at the moment. They used a lot on CYBERCATS to even find Tofu's life, and now Gladiators charging on forward. They've got to be cautious, though, because look at Doraccio. He just runs in without any cares in the world, but it's going to be up to Ace to turn this fight around, but it's going to be cautious, though. Shugetsu finds the kill. 3 down on Gaming Gladiators, and they only find 2 supports.
I mean, the man is doing 350 damage with each right click. You can't just look to run into a Abyss Black at this stage. Honestly, before that fight, I was really going to commend Gaming Gladiators because they had that kill onto... Who died first in that? Was it Chikiro? No, Phasor. Right? Phasor died towards the start of it. They killed Tofu, but they were still able to ensure that the Death Prophet survived. And Gaming Gladiators were making a move with the person that had the timings that they needed, the exorcism, the levels on Boom, plus the 2 that didn't really need these BKBs to come out. You had the Dazzle, again, it's a Dazzle, you're there to support, and you had the Tiny with the Blink Dagger. And at the time, Doraccio as well as Ace were farming on opposite sides of the map, in the side lanes. So you had to make a tough decision. Do you stop these guys that are going to be really hard to kill once they've got their BKBs, or do you go for a mid? And it felt like Gaming Gladiators just committed way too heavily. They just needed to keep farming.
And now there's going to be a 2-minute window where CYBERCATS can do whatever they want. This BKB is still going to take quite some time, so... Where are they smoking to? Celery's not the kill they want. Maybe feeling like someone's home inside the triangle. They might catch out Doraccio. Okay, CYBERCATS. A big kill trying to slow down the BKB timing. TP is going to come out from Celery, but they're going to coax push him to the opposite direction. CYBERCATS, very nicely done. They get the tier 1 tower and looking for the +1.
Even just able to stack up an ancient camp in the middle of that. A few of those valuable neutral items. Shigetsu himself is closing in on his own BKB. I wonder if he's even going to just try backdooring this tier 1 tower. Why not? He's basically unkillable once these Bloodseeker's dead. Yeah, why not?
Uh-oh. This is really big timing here for CYBERCATS. Shigetsu had to complete the BKB. I think that was a beautiful read as well, going back to the tier 1 fight mid. Eagle recognizes his role throughout the fight. So of course, if you can land the coil, beautiful. And you're holding back one of the cores. But really, that silence, you need to get Celery. You're really the only one with the gap closed. I guess the clockwork as well. You need to get on top of the Dazzle and prevent him from freely being able to spellcast, from getting that Grave off to keep Boom alive or any of the other cores as well. And we saw Eagle do that perfectly around the tier 1 mid fight.
Yeah, he did really well. Made sure to get right in on top of the Dazzle. Still wasn't enough to be able to take DP out on the first attempt. And, well, that's why I really thought that, again, it was just a lot of these little minor plays coming through. They don't have Glyph available. I mean, if I'm CYBERCATS, I'm honestly considering going high ground. Why not? No BKBs to contend with. You've got all of your ultimates up. I feel like going for more kills isn't the path to victory here.
We get Celery, though. An easy kill, but definitely nothing that they can lead into an objective. Gaming Gladiators have done a pretty good job to keep top shoved out. He's going to be a bit cautious, though. Where's the clockwork with the hook shot? Phasor, he's going to be nearby to be able to cancel any BKB TP out. And Ace is just going to try and see if he can get a Hail Mary kill, but he's stuck around for way too long. CYBERCATS catching on another one on the map, but it looks like Gladiators just some mistakes, and it's important that CYBERCATS are capitalizing on any mistake they can.
Would you say they're capitalizing?
What? No. Don't. No. Oh no. Dota2 just ruptured an illusion. That's just a crazy bait. Sending familiars with an illusion. Oh god.
The next level play, that's all it is.
Easy like that? I got a bristleback that's about to be level 18. Have fun dealing with this guy. You're going next item shot on Bloodseeker, but again, CYBERCATS are going to have a really big window. It just feels like these items are coming out a bit too late on Gladiators.
Yep. What's the 3 minutes left on Glyph? Like, they can very easily go high ground still, in my eyes. Maybe, I mean, Dream Call's up in 5 seconds. Why not? You've taken control of the entire jungle. Maybe they want to push out this last wave, but again, I feel like they might have that turnaround potential at that stage. DP's been able to pick up the Plaint Mail. She's now level 18, so we'll have the extra damage to be able to output and not be so worried about the Visage of Familiars with the Bristleback, with that Quill Spray, even just the right clicks coming out from the Bristle as well. So, in my eyes, this, for Gaming Gladiators to have any chance, it's all on Boom.
Dire's courier has been killed. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
See, Dota2, he's queued up the Aghanim Shard. He realizes that, look, they're going to come up and fight into us now. In an ideal world, you want to wait for that second Roshan. You want to claim that and just get a bunch of free damage coming out. But it's not the game state right now. It says less than 1k net worth Gaming Gladiators side, but I would say CYBERCATS are in prime position to be able to win this game. They need to take advantage of these opportunities, though. They're hanging back. Aegis is gone.
I think one thing we need to be looking out for in fights now is this potential for the Rupture into the toss. Could do a crap load of pure damage, especially onto a hero like the Bristleback. Something that they have to be mindful of. Gladiators, though, looking for the smoke. Igor is probably the hero they'll run into first. Dota2, they're going to try and bait the Bloodseeker in the lane. Smoke pops, easy like that, out of harm's way.
Nicely done by Igor. Yeah, just letting him know about it as well, taunting him a little bit. But BKB's up on Bloodseeker. Aghanim Shard, I believe, is also up on Bloodseeker. So they're kind of ready to fight as well. 4-staff on a Tiny. It's getting to this stage where they're going to be able to respond to this. I mean, they've even almost got an AC on the Razor. You might have missed your chance here, CYBERCATS.
Yeah, because not only that, Boom's also level 18, so 3 points in the EXO. And this guy is... Oh, I don't know if they can burst him. 2200 health, he's got a crap load of armor. I think the only way you burst him is if it comes down if Celery is controlled. But if Boom gets his abilities off, if he doesn't be killed, if he's not killed at the start of fight, Boom is just going to do so much damage. So, what's the call? How do you take the team fight on CYBERCATS? Is it just 4-man, dump all the damage onto the Death Prophet, and then one other person tries to deal with the Dazzle?
I mean, if they could find Dota2, that would be a nice way to be able to go out, because he is still the main one that's going to be able to, I'd say, kill the Bristleback. Like, you might be able to withstand it a lot against the Death Prophet, but like, Bristleback needs to die, and it feels like Bloodseeker is the way to go about doing that.
I don't know about this high ground siege. It's going to be a Rupture into toss. Shigetsu's going to be deep inside the base, and they're going to break formation on CYBERCATS. I like the call. They see everyone TP back, and they're happy with that. That's a lot of economic damage. He gets all of Gaming Gladiators back inside the base, so no one's farming the bottom jungle. You're all stuck here. You know they have no TPs to make plays with now.
Oh, full-on movement coming through from GG, though.
Shigetsu, let's see. Toss back. There's the Rupture. There's the Hex as well. The damage it's racking up. Shigetsu pops the BKB, but to no avail as Gaming Gladiators. They'll charge on forward. Finding two and looking for another pickoff, and they should get it. DK Fogus caught out with the toss. They'll cancel that TP. Beautifully done from Gaming Gladiators. Finally being able to take a team fight on their own accord, and they will lose no one.
They just waited way too long, man. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's reality. You know, the Bloodseeker in that engagement, he gets caught out, he gets ruptured. You have the Aghanim Shard on the Bloodseeker doing 750 pure damage to him all through that. You also had the minus armor coming from the AC. I say these things a lot, but it's for a damn good reason. You know, it really felt like they could have had one lane of racks minimum before all
They're
of this
setting
started
up
to
on
happen.
Ace top. He's going to run into H2O first. Still, the damage should be enough. They're going to lock him into place, and with Eagle pumping in the right clicks, they will be able to get him. It's actually Fogus that claims the kill as well with the familiars, but beautiful read from CYBERCATS. Even with 2 heroes down, they are still thinking proactive to try and get some kills and catching Gaming Gladiators off guard.
It's something, for sure. You know, silver linings. All these little kills are going to be worth a lot, and it's a pretty quick Roshan respawn as well. Just another 15 seconds away, so if you're able to claim that on CYBERCATS' side, you know, maybe you just get one of those little extras that allow you to get the jump onto the backside. Like, this might be a bit of support copium, but I wouldn't hate to see Phasor pick it up. That jetpack just providing the flying vision, making sure you can find the dazzle at the start of a lot of these engagements.
That's a really good call. Yeah, I'd like that a lot from the Dazzle. Sorry, from the Clockwork. Celery is priority number 1. That hero has to go. That's the Clockwork's job. Is what's coming down to the Death Row? Is that a Shiva's? Oh, that's a beautiful item. Really going to mitigate a lot of the tankiness from the Bristleback, who also went into that 20 health regen as well at the 20 talent.
Incoming.
Radiant's courier
Rosh is
has
up.
been
Second.
Dazzle's holding onto the Grove Bow at the moment. He's also got the Dragon Scale, but surprisingly enough, maybe the communications aren't quite there. Blast Rig is waiting inside of the base, and I mean, that's a pretty damn good spell to be able to go up against the Visage Familiars who, you know, their attack range is so low, you're almost always going to be able to prevent them.
Uh-oh.
This is a big fight.
Really good ward place. They're going to see the sentry drop. CYBERCATS playing down to the south with the cliff ward. Phasor pump faking the hook shot in. It's going to try and turn towards the Razor. They've got the initiation onto Ace. Where's Celery to help him out? He's sent to the north. Should be able to get the Grave off, and Ace is going to be fine in the middle of it all, though. Boom. Charging down Shigetsu. The TP will be successful, but now without the Bristleback, they cannot continue with the fight. CYBERCATS need to cut their losses and hope that multiple members can get out. It looks like one will not in the Jakiro, and the Visage will not be successful as well as Gaming Gladiators. A beautiful invasion into their own jungle to the north as well. Doraccio hunting down Phasor. He is stuck in no man's land, is the Clockwork. They're going to buy back, maybe thinking about them taking Rosh. How is this Kyle? Okay, dude, Phasor, what the hell?
He bought back, so that's how he was able to get back up there, but...
Hopefully might find him. Tofu's
Oh, no.
Oh, Doracchio's not good enough for the job. Tofu comes in and says, all right, you can't do it. I'll hunt him down. He makes quick work of the kill.
Desperately trying to secure this
It's a
Roshan for
bit
themselves. I don't know about it,
separate.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's the damage, though? Like, Bristleback is still your damage. If Visage is dead, Puck isn't enough on her own.
It's the call now. No Clockwork for 45. Gonna smoke. A wraparound's the call from Gladiators. You'd love to get a ward on the cliff to scout out. H2 is an incredible job, but Tofu's ready on the hunt as well. Gets the jump in. The Visage just melts, and meanwhile, in the middle of the fight, they've lost Igor as well. Controlling the park, turning to Shigetsu. It's Doraccio. Finds the Bashers. That's plenty of control to deal with the cause onto CYBERCATS in our Gaming Gladiators. They can swing this successful team fight into the pit. And they're not done. Tofu, he's going to get another kill as well. H2O sticking around for a little bit too long. Even putting the Dukes on as well, dodging the ice path. You'll need to close the distance, but he should be able to do so with ease. He's got the toss onto the neutral. Easy like that.
Dieback as well. It's going to be a pretty rare that you see a Razor get the Aghanim Shard from second Roshan, but 3 other people already have it. You know, you're not going to give it to a support Tiny at this stage. And yeah, it's unfortunate. CYBERCATS, they were in a pretty decent spot at the start, but this is what separates the tier 1 teams from the ones slightly below. They didn't take advantage of their timing. They didn't identify this huge power spike that Gaming Gladiators would eventually have, and it's ended up costing them.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're going to come knocking on that high ground. Aegis on Doraccio. Boom. He's got the Exo ready to work with as well. And like you mentioned, they used multiple buybacks in that last fight. And really, a lot of a high ground defense is going to come back to those extra numbers where you can TP in. Will not have that potential though, but it looks like Gladiators still have some outer towers to be able to kill off. Dyrachio is going to try and get bottom shoved out. So looking for the full map control first before they think about knocking on the high ground.
I mean, what else are they waiting for? Maybe just wanting to seriously secure Celery's life with this Aeon disc. He's still a decent amount of gold away. You've got the refresher on Ace. Something else just finished on the Bloodseeker. Mjolnir just finished up. I mean, they've got everything that they could possibly want. It's basically just waiting for someone to put themselves in a bad spot. Even their vision is in a good place right now on Gaming Gladiators. They could see H2O coming out into the mid lane. They even see DK Focus. So they're like, all right, free tower.
H2O. But if you're just scouting, I don't know how it's got this much farm. He's 5-2 and 11. Igor, with the ward on the high ground, Coil's gonna get controlled. They might just go high ground though. I don't think they care about losing the Tiny. They have to come back without a glyph. These buildings are falling fast.
Even Celery, just the solid positioning. He's holding on to the blast rig now. What are you doing, CYBERCATS? Your base is dying.
So if they're going to look to take the fight, eyes on Celery. They're going to target down Boom at the moment. BKB, Boom's going to be perfectly okay. They should be able to get the kill onto Celery for the moment, but it looks like Gaming Gladiators calling the retreat, but Dyrachio, he won't make it out. They don't retreat as a team. The BKB expiring for the Bloodseeker, so they'll get the second kill after the ages as well. As CYBERCATS, they'll lose their full set of barracks, but at least you do get some consolation prizes in the lives of Gaming Gladiators.
A little bit of an odd decision, to be sure. I mean, like, he just stuck around on that Bloodseeker. As soon as you see that Clockwork Hookshot go off, that is the only BKB piercing disable you've got until Igor hits level 25. So I was really surprised they didn't instantly turn around and fight. Maybe that time around it was Boom just baiting him in a little bit, saying, you know, go, go, go. But yeah, ends up costing the life of a Bloodseeker. They still get the lane of racks, but certainly not as clean as they would have been wanting.
Now they're going to think about a high gun. They'll take it pretty goddamn fast. They've got AC, they've got Familiars to work with. Bloodseeker down for 40 seconds.
I mean, Bloodseeker, again, is the only one this Bristle should be concerned about, so I'm not sure why he's so hesitant.
Toss back. Shigetsu, maybe he's going to be worried about the percent damage coming through from Boom. Look at them racking it up at Ace. Oh my lord. All right, you've got a Razor issue as well. As Ace, he'll charge down the Visage. The Aghanim Shard only buying him some moments here, but it looks like they're retreating. Ace hesitant about moving on forward with the BKB on cooldown. They cancel the TP on CYBERCATS. They're going to stick around to maybe blow up the Razor. Let's see if the magic damage is going to be enough. Ace is falling low, but the rest of the team flies over the tree line, gets the control to kill off CYBERCATS' members. You'll lose Ace. It looks like he'll still reign supreme in that skirmish.
Well, I wasn't expecting that, that's for sure. That damage coming through. I mean, it was just the perfect chain lockdown, right? The toss back into the stuns, into the Hex coming through from the Dazzle with the Aghanim Shard. You had the Spirit Siphon going the whole time, which ended up with a Fear. Like, it was literally the perfect 100-0 chain stun. So, very well done with that execution coming through from Gaming Gladiators.
Dude, Boom is performing on another level this game. 8-0-11, top of the net worth, refresher orb completed on the Death Prophet. My oh my, this guy is ridiculously farmed.
And now it's gotten to the stage where CYBERCATS are like, well, we need to burst 3 different targets, 100-0 first, or we're like, we have no chance. I think Ace, while it is annoying to have a Razor in a team fight for a long time, he's not the main concern. The main concerns are Bloodseeker, Dazzle, as well as the Death Prophet. So which one can you pick? It kind of has to be the Dazzle, right? Because that's the easiest way to start things off.
I don't know, because I'd even put Ace as being a big issue. Because if he gets a static link onto Shigetsu on the Bristleback, then his damage is going to be limited. But you have to make a call on which one to go for, and it's going to be way too difficult. Like, everyone on Gladiators now are just so valuable to their team fight.
That's the state this is in, right? When the Razor is literally the 4th most important, and he's still damn important.
This is a hero that I feel like is going to be a big issue at the Major in particular, and the rest of the qualifiers as well. We're just going to see other regions and how they're able to utilize, but this offlane Razor, the 3rd core, it's just so dumb. And we're seeing Ace have a really good performance on it as well.
All right, I'm looking out for Igor in this next fight. He is all in on that burst aspect. He's got a Dagon. It's just level 1.
Bristle on the front line. There's the rupture, but where's the toss?
Level
Tofu.
25 on the puck.
See if they can get that control, though. They're going to do a pretty good job to kite to the left. Tarachio charging forward, but the Eagle looking for the solo kill. Might be able to find it with the Rocket Flare. Now, you've pretty much taken Celery out of the equation. He's incredibly low, but Tofu gets the jump. They're going to be able to toss. Oh my. What is that damage? DK Fogos is out of the equation easy like that. 70 seconds on the deck, and they can look to push down mid as well. EXO at the ready for Boom. Igor, that's a decent amount of damage with the Macropie. Boom's going to protect himself with the BKB for the moment. But good luck killing this man. In fact, he's just going to tear you apart. Pillage in the base. It's time for more kills as Boom. He's popped the refresher. He's ready with the second round of the BKB. Deep inside the territory of CYBERCATS he goes. And meanwhile, Gaming Gladiators, the rest of their members are onto the objectives.
Second EXO being used. The fight's not even done and it's already saying it's over with the recap coming through. Again, just another use of that link. You get the Dream Coil off. This time it's better. Onto 2 of those cores instead of just the Soul Dazzle.
Might be able to bring down the Bloodseeker. We'll see. Grave is out the last second. Duracho, can he get enough life steal back? You bet he can. With a kill onto the Bruiserback, he's gone without a buyback, and this should be an easy clease out to close out game 1. They have the control on the puck. Just gets the jaunt to the high ground. Gladiators, they won't get more kills throughout that, but they will get a second full set of barracks. And now they're going to look to reset, get their resources back in a respectable limit, and then maybe you can get that top set.
Dagon 3 up on Igor now. And he's just going for those solo pickoffs if he could find them. He's actually run into Ace instead. Pops it straight away. Trying to force some rotations or at least scare him off a little bit, but Tofu,
Igor's
his
going
positioning has
for
been
it.
on point.
Hang on, Igor? My friend Tofu's nearby. Oh no. Oh, you gotta make those crazy plays. You're trying to get a pick off onto Ace. It's not gonna work out, unfortunately. But at the state of the game, you gotta do something crazy to bring it back.
Yeah, it was only his second death of the entire game, but it was what I was saying at the start, right? It's almost a free puck game, except for this tiny, so it just feels like maybe he could have been a little bit more aggressive in that 15 or so minute mark before those BKBs were such a factor. Almost got the level 25 up on Bloodseeker as well. So,
Fun.
are there any Lincolns or anything like that being built up for CYBERCATS? They got a Lotus Orb, but that's about
Lincolns, who cares, sir? This guy's got a refresher, double rupture, refresh, extra ruptures.
You mean quad rupture?
Oh my lord. I've been seeing this Bloodseeker go refresher a little bit more lately. I'm not sure if it's something you saw a lot at Riyadh.
A little bit. I mean, it's just obnoxious, right? Like, you can just do so much so early on.
Oh my god. Well, it's double BKB. I mean, it's a big reason why you see kind of the Razor go down that round and refreshing the abilities, of course, as well. But yeah, look at that. Double ruptures out. All of a sudden, you have so much of this high ground to work with.
Don't forget that he's also got the Rupture cast range as well at level 20, so it's actually massive how much you could just prevent someone from having any involvement in this
Megas.
fight.
No way they can contest. Gonna back up. Shigetsu's on the prowl. That's a pretty decent hookshot on the high ground. Refresher used. They'll turn to Shigetsu. And BKB holding out a majority of the damage for the moment. They do have to be a bit cautious of the quills as Ace is falling low, but is able to reposition back to safety thanks to Celery's Dazzle helping out. And meanwhile to the left side as well, Shigetsu cleans up H2O. They do have some issues with Igor at the moment. Tofu trying to keep up with the puck. He's jaunting left, right, and center. But the G's are dropped, and unfortunately for Igor, the puck is unable to bring CYBERCATS in a position where they can take this game 1. It was a hell of a performance from Mr. Igor, but in the end, Gaming Gladiators, they will come out on top, taking this one in 41 minutes.
Yeah, they weathered the storm. They got past the really scary part. And, well, unfortunately for CYBERCATS, they didn't identify